Nutnfancy here. Thanks for joining me. I'm a big advocate of the right tool for the job. Actually, the right system for the job is how I like to think of it. This is a full-size service pistol, the outstanding SIG P226R, standing for rail. I did a series of review videos on it. If you're interested, look them up. It's one of my all-time favorite service pistols because it's just so darn accurate, ergonomic, reliable, and just easy to use. I do carry a little bit more weight with it, and it is kind of a bulky pistol. But both of those factors do not diminish all the good that it delivers in the role that I would put it in. Right tool for the right job. Do I take this gun with me every day on the streets of America? No, I don't, because I don't think the propensity under rule of law for me to use my gun in most circumstances, I'm talking about in civilian life here, are that high. And in those situations, maybe I'll opt for, just like I showed you in other videos, a belly band carry option, carrying something much lighter, much slimmer, much more comfortable, and something I'm much more likely willing to strap on and carry all day long. And this, of course, is the excellent Kel-Tec PF9, very slim, very lightweight, still a 9mm pistol, and in the belly band, it's a great option. I mentioned this before, real quick. The belly band, as comfortable as concealable as it is, it's not a fast draw. It's a slow draw, and that's a big disadvantage. So that gets us to the inside the waistband option of carry. And I am not against it. And I think some guys misinterpreted my video, maybe an everyday carry system, thinking that that's all I advocate, that's all I use. Not true. What I am very careful about is what kind of gun I will carry inside the waistband. To me, a full-size service pistol along the lines of the SIG 226, maybe full-size H&K, USP, XD, 1911, you name it, is kind of a WROL gun because they're a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier. I just don't see a lot of dudes, including myself, running around carrying them daily. And if you were to opt for an inside the waistband carry for the SIG 226, there are guys that do it. Heck, you might even be doing it. But to me, it's just a little bit too thick, a little bit too heavy, and the length is a little bit long for that to be a comfortable option for me. Now, if we choose a smaller gun that's lighter weight, shorter overall length, suddenly inside the waistband carry becomes a much more viable option. And finally, I'm getting around to the topic of this video, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. This particular holster is a Galco Summer Comfort inside the pants holster, and it is outstanding. I like to highlight pieces of gear and options for you guys which I feel deliver high value, i.e. for their price point, they deliver a lot of performance, and indeed this Galco Summer Comfort holster does just that. Before I talk to the specifics of that and how this one's set up and what's riding in it, let's do a little backtracking of what this holster is based on. It's actually kind of a rip-off of a very established design, and that is the Milt Sparks Summer Special holster. This holster's been around for a long time. It is an extremely high quality, I think it's made out of horsehide, could be wrong on that, but it's an extremely high quality holster that a lot of armed professionals use day in, day out. Notice that it has rough side out on the leather, a reinforced mouth and snap loops for your belt, and no retention strap, and you can get a full combat grip on your pistol while it rides inside your waistband. That is a huge advantage to this design, is that it's fast. It's going to ride on your strong side. It's easy to access, quick into action. Let me do back and I'll show you what the price is on it. The downside of the Summer Special by Milt Sparks is, of course, the price. And here you go, 80 bucks. That's not cheap. It's good money spent. If you do decide to get a Milt Sparks holster, I would think you'd be smart. Also, it has a smooth interior finish. I like that too. Now here is the Galco version of that. They also use a summer name, kind of a rip-off, but that's okay. And it's very similar in design to that Summer Special. Notice, basically identical. But here's the kicker. 56 bucks, free shipping from impactguns.com. That's who's carrying it. pretty awesome. The variances on the design will be it's made out of steer hide, and actually I think that might be steer hide as well, the Summer Special. I don't know. Doesn't matter really. But notice that it has smooth side out. That's kind of a disadvantage. I kind of like the way the Milt Sparks has it, smooth side in, rough side out. That way it makes it retain in your waistband a little bit better. And it can accommodate up to 1 3/4 inch belts. So if you're running a thick belt, and it's easy on and off. You don't have to take your belt off. Another advantage. So let's look at the actual holster. I did want to show you guys that so you know that Galco is not the inventor of that holster. It's actually Milt Sparks. And actually he may not be. Who knows who really invented it. But the design is the same. The reason it works, and my battery's going to die so I might have to join the two clips. The reason it works is because we're riding a small and lightweight gun in it. And that's Nutnfancy's opinion. Now, I do know guys that use an inside the waistband carry with that exact holster you just saw, the Milt Sparks one, running a 1911, and they do it religiously. But I will tell you, those types of dudes are few and far between that are willing to carry a 38-ounce gun. Actually, it's more than that once you load it up, a 45-ounce gun inside their waistband. Most quit doing it. Now, some of the guys will roll into this video, see it, and say, hey, I do it every day. And to you guys, salute. I applaud you. I just wanted something a little bit more comfortable. And that's where these subcompact polymer frame pistols can really help out. This is a Glock 26 9mm. The Glock 27 and 40 would work great. The Springfield XD subcompact, another great option. Car PM9, Keltec PF9. All of these guns would be great choices for inside the waistband if you are an armed civilian sheepdog with a concealed carry permit, or maybe a law enforcement officer needing a backup weapon as well. I tend to find the inside the waistband just works better with the lighter weight guns. Now the Glock 26, truth be told, is no slim gun. It's still kind of chunky, retaining the full width of a Glock 17. That's a downside. The PF9, truth be told, would carry even better in this manner, like you see here, because look how slim that is. Very nice. Back to the holster though, there's your retention strips, reinforced mouth. And why is that important? That's because you can reholster with it if you draw your weapon. So you draw your gun, use it, maybe you don't use it. That would be much preferred in my opinion. And then you can put it back into the holster. That's what the whole purpose for this reinforcement is. Notice it's the opposite of the Milt Sparks Summer Special. Rough side in, smooth side out. I really wish those were reversed. And the reason I say that is because, like you see on the slide of this Glock 26, you're just going to get some wear. It's going to polish your edges that rub in the holster. That's honest wear though, and I always think honest wear is kind of cool actually. Just shows you've been using the gun as designed. The smooth side out also doesn't retain quite as well in the waistband, but it's around $25 cheaper than that Milt Sparks, so if that's important to you, something to think about. 56 bucks, impact guns. Again, price will change, maybe the model will change as time goes on. This video will stay online probably for a long time, and you may see similar holsters like this, maybe not by Galco, and I think as long as they're constructed well with that super high quality materials, look at the stitching on that, how superb that is. They use really high quality steer hide, Galco does. That's what you want to look for. You don't want any cheesy crap, and it's not overly bulky. Notice the holster itself is about as slim as it can be and still utilize steer hide and a reinforced mouth. And here's that full combat grip that you can get while it's riding on your strong side. When you put this in, by the way, if you're going to reholster, I find it's advantageous. Maybe put your thumb on the back of your slide of your Glock or whatever gun you're using if it's not a condition 1 cocked and locked type weapon. That way you don't go out of battery as you put the gun inside there. So that's it. This is a much faster option than that belly band. I've been using it for several months. In the 90s, I used to carry in the waistband like a lot. For whatever reason, I just gave up on it. It was probably before I had some really lightweight carry guns to do it, because the guns I had back then were pretty darn heavy. This is Nutnfancy. Just something to think about. Again, the Galco Summer Comfort inside the waistband holster is a great option at 56 bucks. Peace out. Be safe out there. oops, I'm going to have to tag this on. A couple things I didn't mention is, one, think of it as a system, and as a system, you need to take an extra magazine with you. Whereas the belly band system already had a place for you to carry an extra magazine. Also, the shoulder holster option, this is that classic light by Galco I did a separate video on. It has provisions for an extra magazine. When you go inside the waistband, or heck, outside the waistband carry, you need to have another magazine capability somehow, some way. And for me, I'll just use a pouch carrier on my weak side under the shirt. This is a Don Hume single magazine carrier. It snaps on, snaps off to the belt. Really easy to put on. Same concept as retention loops on the Summer Comfort holster. And this is a Glock 26 with a +2 magazine in it. Great system. However, the downside might be that you have two things hanging off your waist. One on the right, for me, I'm right-handed, and then one on the left. So it creates a little bit of bulk and a minor concealability problem. I find that a draped shirt over those items is plenty. Be careful, though, in jurisdictions where if you're a civilian, if someone sees your gun, they could think you're brandishing or whatever. So deep concealability is always preferred in most situations with ROL. Keep that shirt over it, and I find it's not a factor. That's another advantage, by the way, by going with a Glock 26 or small subcompact, because it has that short butt. You go with something larger and inside the waistband carry along the lines of the SIG, and that longer butt is going to print through your shirt a lot more readily, especially if you bend over. Just a couple more thoughts. Remember, it's a system, not just a holster, and I always say keep an extra mag with you. Okay, this time for real. Adios. See ya. Nutnfancy.